jump onto it. It's just B2B is just a different beast, you know. When you're selling business to business in any industry, there's so much money to be made.
But if you keep on showing yourself, there's going to be potential people.
I always tell them, you know, you just have to pick up your phone and just be consistent.
Yeah. How can we bring in more leads, and how can we help other businesses bring in more leads?
Easiest way to go in front of your customers is through social media.
Building the brand is more deeper than just picking up the phone and just talking to a camera.
I think the time to make a website has long gone, I think now. Hi, good morning guys. Today we have a very special guest with us today. We have Adeeb Mirza from FOKUS, the company behind all our videos and all our marketing campaigns so far. They have helped us immensely grow on social media. So we wanted to get their feedback and get some knowledge and share some common goals that we have for our company. So here you go, Adeeb.
So, hey guys, as Wajid said, I'm Adeeb and I work for FOKUS. I'm the main content director here. I help A1 and other clients shoot their videos, help them with their ideas, and yeah, I'm excited for this, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Adeeb, for the last 4 or 5 months of hard work you guys have put in and given us your time. It's been an amazing journey with you, of course. I wanted to jump in on this podcast real quick to help our listeners and help our viewers to learn more about how the marketing agency works and why the game has changed so much in the last 2 years, 3 years since after COVID. I'm pretty sure you have seen a big difference also.
Yeah.
So many marketing agencies have popped up all around US, and people are just getting so much more out of their content, like after COVID, compared to what they used to, the results they used to get. So tell me about a little bit about how you started this business and what is your day-to-day and how do you guys operate?
So it wasn't actually me who started this business. It was my brother, Adeeb, who would be actually a really good guest as well for you to have. And I started off seeing him. I'll tell a little bit of how he started it. He was a full-time videographer, kind of like a content director, just like me, how I am for FOKUS currently. He started off just with a camera going around shooting for clients, and then he started to scale, and then that's how FOKUS came into picture.
Wow.
I joined when it was scaling pretty fast. I first became a video editor, and then that's how I started to learn about more content, you know, content, how to grow pages, stuff like that. And now I'm a full-time videographer for here, content director, teaching people how to get their best side out and just making them realize, okay, there's more to it than just, you know, maybe just pushing for scripts, just getting that authentic side of things, which, you know, you mentioned like a lot of content agencies are bringing up, and that also correlates with more brands after COVID. Brands is all about authenticity, and that's what I help with mostly. This helps with everything basically, from building your brand to getting more leads and everything. And you know, it's a hand in hand with just like, okay, how can we bring in more leads and how can we help other businesses bring in more leads through content? And right. I believe this correlates with you as well with the jewelry business.
Right, 100%. I think the time has changed so fast, and it's changing on a daily basis. You know, every month people are coming up with new stuff, especially in our industry. You know, you see watch people, you see diamond people. Everybody's gotten so creative just all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It feels like, you know, it was just yesterday when people just used to just take care of their day-to-day operations in the store, and now all of a sudden you see them 70% of the time on Instagram, you know? So that has changed a lot in our industry, definitely. There's a very good common misconception that I've seen that whenever I talk to the store owners, whenever I talk to retailers, they say, oh, where should we start from, you know? Where, like, what is a good starting point? They always ask you like, okay, and I always tell them, you know, you just have to pick up your phone and just be consistent.
Yeah, exactly.
Just, you gotta start with your own iPhone, you know. There's no magic to this trick. If you see somebody coming on the video and getting the results, it's because they're showing up for the videos.
I mean, it's also deeper than that. It's of course, yeah, that the first step is getting used to the process. Of course, getting used to showing up every day. That's the most important thing. Even with, like, with working out and going to the gym, they always say, you gotta first take the first step, get used to it, and then worry about the gains later on.
Right.
Once you start getting into the flow of it, you have to strategize how you upload your stuff, how you produce your content, and like that's why your page is growing as well. You guys started using a strategy and making like really good videos for the A1 page and your own page as well. It's about strategy at the end of the day.
It's about strategy. Definitely, it's about strategy and putting right people to work with you. That's why we have grown so much with you guys. What do you think where the industry is heading in 2026? What are your company goals for 2026? Is there anything specific, a new trend that you're seeing? I know TikTok is growing crazy. What is the difference between TikTok and Instagram nowadays? What have you noticed?
So the difference between, well, let me first go on with the goals. The goals is always to scale, you know, and keep on being updated with the latest trends and everything, you know, just not staying behind. But
Right.
to answer your question about what's the difference between TikTok and Instagram, from what I've noticed, and I think data shows this as well, TikTok is more for people who are always, it's more for the younger generation.
How
for Gen
young
Z.
you're talking about?
So like around, like Gen Z, below 30, I would say.
Below
So,
30.
yeah, but like above 30, everybody is like on there, like business owners. You can also find like really successful people on Instagram. Because Instagram is not only a short form content page, it's just pictures, stories, it's just social networking.
Right.
You can take dating, for example, as well. People mostly use Instagram for dating too.
Right.
Because it shows who you are, basically. TikTok is very tunnel visioned on short form content and short form content only. And the people who actually use TikTok are always going to be on TikTok. They don't necessarily diverge to other places from there.
If I was a new business owner that just got into jewelry industry, what would you recommend? I have very limited budget. I'm very busy. I don't have a lot of employees. I'm very busy in the day-to-day of the operations. I have to open the store, I have to close my store, I have to sell to my customers to make a living. Where the content piece fits, how a new business owner should open this part of the business for themselves so they can, you know, use this platform like Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and all that. How do you think as a business owner we should start, like a one person that is just starting fresh, you know, 6 months in business, how they should start?
So like, yeah, are you talking in content?
In
or-
content
yeah.
and growing their own pages on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok.
So as you said, the first step is the most important step, but let's just starting, right? But let's move on to step number 2. From there, like you mentioned, like they're super busy, right?
Yeah.
Like barely have any time to
Yes,
make content.
yes. No
Editing is
employees.
an entire process.
Yes, editing is super hard.
Yeah, exactly. For them, I would recommend try to hire someone that is trying to grow their business as well. Maybe somebody who's young, who's hungry, and has actually gotten some results as well.
Right.
It may be a risk, but it's always nice to, you know, if you're on a tight budget and you don't have the capacity to work like with a big agency.
With big agency, yeah.
Yeah. I would recommend find someone who is in the social media sphere getting results, but is not at that level yet.
Right.
I would say take a risk. It's
You
like,
have nothing to lose.
yeah.
Yeah, you have nothing to lose because
like-
it's your starting point.
They get exposure if they get results for you, and
Right.
you get results.
One thing I'm gonna pitch in is one thing that worked for me when I used to run gas station. I only had one store also. I used to stay busy, you know, I was very fresh in the business.
Yeah.
One thing that used to work for me was like logo designing and website designing and, you know, small digital stuff. I used to hire people on Fiverr and Upwork. That is the cheapest, and you have to do a lot of communication with them. They keep you busy. Like, you know, you need to make sure you have the app downloaded on your phone so you can communicate with them, exchange their WhatsApp. You won't believe my business card, my first business card for A1 was built by a Fiverr. So you gotta do what you gotta do, you know, get the end result. Doesn't matter what it costs, you know.
Yeah. How was that experience like working like with Fiverr?
You know, the only thing, the main pain point is finding the right person that understand what you're trying to achieve. Once that person, the editor or the designer, they understand your mindset, then they can work with you for very long years, you know, because they understand what you're trying to achieve, you know, and they have been very consistent with you. So you just need to find the right partner in that scenario also. You can be shooting content on your iPhone and like whatever phone you're using. for 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes a day, and you can just have one person, just that initial phase of just, shortlisting the people, the right editor, the right designer, and then keeping with them, on every project, videos and stuff. It's very, I think it's very doable.
Yeah,
it's very doable.
100%.
And it just provides a lot of results until you're ready to jump in to get on board with a full-time agency.
Yeah, to build on what you said, to the advice for business owners who want to create content, that's actually good.
Yeah.
Just create content, dedicate like an hour or 30 minutes to shoot it, send it over to an editor who understands your vision.
Right.
That's the most important thing, honestly.
That's the most important
Even
thing.
like if the editing if the editing is not that good, what matters most is to understand your vision.
Right.
And they're building with you.
Right.
And not just like collecting a paycheck.
Right. I think it's super important for the business owner to understand to not pinch for pennies when you're getting into a new game like this, because I've seen a lot of business owners and retailers go super hard with negotiations for pricing and stuff because it's their first time, and they don't know what kind of talent costs how much. So you just need to be very open in your mind. Maybe you're going to lose a couple of thousand here and there, but that's just an experiment and a learning curve that you would pay at your school or your university to just get admission,
Yeah, 100%.
A lot of people I've seen, they get admissions into wrong courses, spend 2 years of their life and all the money on the fees and all that, and still come out with nothing,
Yeah.
So it's just a learning phase in the business also. Like you have to try on, whenever you're hiring agency, your designer on Fiverr, Upwork, you just have to try 4 or 5 different people, spend time with them, and you'll just pick one,
Yeah, 100%.
and then later down the road, that guy hopefully sticks with you, for the long run.
Yeah.
Right. Let's jump on. I know a lot of people, another question a lot of people ask me, I wanted to share with you is, a lot of people still tell me, the best way to get online is I should make a website. I think the time to make a website has long gone, I think now. It's just, what is your thoughts about starting the website route in 2025 and 2026?
Well, we have to think of it this way. Of course, people use Google and everything for websites and to go there, but the market is where the trends are going, right?
Right.
People use social media for everything. Why not? Why shouldn't your business be a part of that? Why shouldn't people find your business on social media instead of just going to the website? Of course, build your website, but I believe it should be a funnel.
It should be a funnel, yeah.
So start off with the content, and the website is like the icing on top. Like, okay, start off with the content, nurture the people, and by the time they're on the website, they're not like, oh, okay, what is this business about? I'm just ready to buy, That's the mindset they should have.
The only problem I see in our industry with social media is the average ticket of our merchandise is very high. Like you're selling $5,000 necklace and $10,000 watch and $12,000 a ring, a bridal ring. So it just gets very tricky. You get a lot of false leads. So the owners or the people that are managing your social media, your son or your another employee, whoever is managing, they have to work really hard to funnel those leads. I think that's where the main work is.
One thing I notice is traditionally gold businesses, jewelry businesses are, once again, traditional. Like they don't necessarily are in the sphere of content and social media. Of course, they're getting there slowly.
Right.
But why is it slowly? Why aren't people rushing there?
I mean, there's a lot of hard work. Like it's the same thing as like when I remember when I opened my store for wholesale. There's a lot of missing pieces that you have to figure out in order to run a successful jewelry wholesale business. Why people are not rushing to it, because there's a lot of money to be made outside of this the circle still. There's a lot of work involved in creating a brand, building a story around it, making content on a daily basis. It's just a lot of work for the owners. I'm pretty sure. If I look at myself also, we just have to take a lot of our time away from our customers, away from our vendors, away from our employees, away from our family, in order to focus on making a strategy, making continuous videos and stuff. So it's just people will jump onto it eventually, and it's a slow process. Definitely, everything is an evolution, goes through an evolution. So, but I think people will realize down the line, and they will jump onto it. It's just B2B is just a different beast. When you're selling business to business in any industry, there's so much money to be made, door knocking, cold calling, and attending the trade shows. So that's why this channel is like not at the priority of people.
So how were you able to, or why did you start building your brand?
So my goal was to use the dollars that we had, with limited budget that we have, as effectively as possible to reach out to as many clients as possible. In our industry, trade shows have become super expensive to attend. Each trade show could cost you anywhere from $40,000 to $100,000 for 3 days, which becomes impossible to scale up. Trade shows are not easily scalable. I know companies that are doing trade shows for 30 years and they do one show a month. It just takes a toll on your team. It creates a lot of pressure on your buying cycles, on your selling cycles. It's just a lot of work. So to replace trade shows with another channel, that was my goal, was to spend at least 1/10 of that money towards this channel and explore it.
Yeah.
And so far it's been working for us. Yeah.
So by trade show, you mean just like going to like different vendors and showcasing your stuff? Can you explain a little bit more?
In our jewelry industry, there are big trade shows. Two of them happen in Miami. One happened in Vegas. There's one in Atlanta. One in New York. So basically, there are like 5 to 6 big jewelry trade shows that happen in these cities, and all of big vendors, big companies, they go there, exhibit their merchandise, and meet their clients and try to make new clients. That is the whole purpose of that show, of those shows. And we attend 2 of those. We attend the Vegas show every year, and we attend the October Miami show every year. Yeah. So we are still doing it because those 2 shows give us the best results. But apart from that, we are trying to grow our social media so we can get the same results, but out of the show.
So one thing that's about content is that the more you put out and the more you showcase what you're doing, the more your face is on there, the more your product is out there. That means more people see it.
Right.
It could be like 200 people, 300 people, 1,000 people, more the better, right? But if you keep on showing yourself, there's going to be potential people who are interested in it.
Right.
Right? And this could also convert to leads and everything. So that's why building a brand is one of the most important things as well. Like, of course, trade shows get the best results, but why not have maybe less results, but on a more consistent basis?
Right.
And as like this market is growing.
Right.
Like I urge all like business owners and all people with products that want to sell just to start creating content and start building their brand. And of course, building the brand is more deeper than just picking up the phone and just talking to a camera. There's more that goes to it. It goes how you present yourself.
Right.
How
customer service.
Yeah, but customer service.
Yeah.
How like do you have client testimonials?
Right.
Are you actually who you say
providing
you are?
value.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
There's more to it.
Right.
And I'm really happy to see like a lot of businesses are already doing that and growing from it. There's few people who like their story is that they start selling digital products and now they're like the best day ever. They quit their jobs and now they're like making a lot of money. Just business owners, and especially in the jewelry industry as well, just start doing that. I believe they will see a profit off of it.
Right.
Like 100%. What do you think?
Right, 100%. I think brand building is definitely very crucial, especially as the market is getting more and more competitive. You need to be as much as possible in front of your customers, either through cold calling, either through reaching out door to door, either through your social medias. The clients need to see your face on a daily basis. If each of your client is not seeing you on a daily basis, that means you're missing out. And easiest way to go in front of your customers is through social media, because everybody I open my Instagram 10 times a day.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
I see
addiction.
one same person, like, you know, pretty much every day. I'm probably never seen them, you know, physically. But I think that is a mentality, like, if you show up on a daily basis in front of people on their screens, I think that just creates a value in their heads automatically without even you telling them directly what you want, you know.
Yeah,
it's just indirect psychology that we are playing with through social media, I guess. Yeah. That just, whenever I see people also, they meet with me very warmly that they have seen me before, you know.
Yeah.
I have noticed that about since we have started making videos and stuff. Yeah.
Do people treat you as like, oh my God, like
I've
as
seen,
a celebrity?
I saw that in the last trade show that we attended, we had few customers that took pictures and I felt very good. That felt, different. Yeah, definitely.
Well, that also plays into like, okay, you've created a brand, now people are like, oh my God, oh no way.
Yeah, there's still a long way to go.
Yeah.
to feel that we have created a brand, but I think we're on the right track.
100%.
And it feels really nice because we have a very good team and everybody is aligned on the same vision.
Yeah.
Of creating it from a brand from nothing to something. Yeah.
I feel like what's good as well, like if people are coming to you like at your trade show, taking pictures with you, that just means the strategy is working because you're talking to your target audience.
Right.
Target audience is everything. Like if you're not talking to the people you want to sell to, like you shouldn't even make content at that point. Can I say something to the camera real quick?
Right.
If you're a business owner and make dance content, just delete your account because it's not, you're stupid. Stop it.
So you're 100% right. The way I look at it is like, jumping onto your previous question, why a lot of business owners don't, like, especially in the wholesale, our industry doesn't make content, is because it's very hard to find the target market. Yeah. That's a very big pain point. I have started to believe is there's no target market. You have to make your own target market. Mm-hmm. I mean, the people that you see could be a jewelry store owner in the next 5 years. I mean, you could be a jewelry store owner in the next 5 years. I don't know where your fate is going to take you, but I'm pretty sure down the line, if you're trying to look for more work, you might be able to open a jewelry store too. Why not? If you see my videos, why not? And then you can become my target market. So to find a direct target market is very hard, definitely, and it takes a lot of money and a lot of efforts. But your indirect target market is the whole world, I guess. Yeah. So if you look at through that lens, then every piece of video and every piece of content that is useful, I guess. Nothing goes to, like, you know, trash. Like, everything is very useful, especially when it's relating to business. And if it's not hitting your target market, it's hitting your indirect target market, and you're gonna get results in the next 3 years instead of getting in 3 months. So if you see it that way, you'll feel always motivated to make new videos, new content, new pieces of blogs, new pieces of emails, talk to your clients, you know, on a daily basis. You'll always feel motivated. Another thing is to find motivation to do this stuff, you know. I have started doing gym in the last 10 years, like 50 times, and quit in the first month or so, because it's very hard to find motivation. Like, but I've seen people that are doing gym for the last 30 years, 20 years, you know, and every day they show up at 4 a.m. and they find motivation to do it. So it's very similar. It's just, I don't know, what's your point about this, how to find motivation to do content?
Well, you have to understand what your why is. Going back to the gym analogy is, people don't quit because they have this picture in mind. Oh wow, okay, I need to get shredded, you know, I need to be the next Arnold.
Right.
And they have this picture in mind and they're like, oh, there's nothing that's gonna stop me. Motivation is like, yeah, sure, motivation will help, but it's like, you really need to understand, okay, if I do this, what's the reason I'm doing this?
Right.
If the reason is not good enough, is the reason is like, oh, I'm just trying to make more money, which is a, you know, valid reason. You just need to understand, okay, it just needs to be, okay, if I do this for the next amount of days, let's say 90 days, for example, what results will I see? If the results are very good, then you need to stick to it for those days. And if you can't, then I'm sorry, like, you're going to get left behind. I'm sure that the reason that you are where you are right now is because you didn't quit. Because you had a strong why with your business, right?
100%. The why is very crucial. when you're building a business, definitely. Of course, you need to feed your family. That's a big why. Why you're doing it. The first 2 years, first year or of so, your biggest why is your family. After that, you have to figure out what your next why is gonna be, because after you have made a good living for yourself, there's not a lot of motivation left, to do anything much better. A lot of people just stay at where they're at, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 8 years ago. So you just need to find new motivations to achieve, and just keep on going, because I think that's what life is. If you just stay still and stay stagnant, then you're done. World is moving so fast. I think you just have to keep going with it instead of just,
there's one thing I'll just say too about that. And if you're comfortable with where your business is at and you don't want to start creating content, finding motivation will not help you.
Right.
It's getting ahead, like whether people like it or not, and not get used to it. Content is the new wave. Building brands is the new wave.
Yeah.
So if people want to stay behind, they can make all the excuses they want. But if they don't start, and they get left behind.
Yeah. The biggest reason, another big reasons, I understand what content, making a video or making a blog, writing, post on your social media helps is increasing your distribution for your store. If I had a retail store, like a gas station or smoke shop or a hotel or a jewelry store, creating distribution, people take this word very lightly, but distribution is what creates a lot of cash flow in your business. You need, on a daily basis, to push your distribution circle as much out as possible. Creating more distribution for your business, I think, is the main goal of the ownership. A lot of people keep themselves busy in operations, but I think their main goal should be to leave the operations and increase distribution for their store. How a retail store can increase distribution, I feel like creating content is the best way to create distribution in today's world. I mean, you can always do events in your community. You can always call up your friends and family to refer their friends and families, and talk to them about your business. That would increase distribution also. So these are all the ways, I have seen people grow their retail business from start to where they are right now. A lot of our successful customers, they're not just busy making content, but they're very busy in their local communities, also doing a lot of events, reaching out to people in their communities, helping charities, getting the word out that they're there. So I don't know, what do you guys see other people, like your clients? You have a very successful clients. What do they do to increase this?
So I'll take one of our clients as an example. They run a law firm. Of course, they have content already going with us, which has been really it has a positive impact on their business and everything, but they don't just stop there. This client is into fitness as well, so what they do is, he's a lawyer. This lawyer goes to run clubs, goes to coffee shops and everything, sponsors them, just gets the name across. I asked him in particular as to why you're doing this. He's like, the biggest of the biggest lawyers, they're on TVs, they're ads, but what about they're not here? They're not going to run clubs, they're not sponsoring coffee shops. We'll do that, And he was like, okay, let's say one of these people needs help with a lawyer, people from the run club, people from the coffee shop. Oh, they know a lawyer. Who is that lawyer? It's that person.
Right, yeah. I think these are all necessary services that we ignore, that once you're in that business, you're so drenched in the day-to-day that you forget, people need you, People definitely need you on in their daily lives. Every retail store owner or every small business owner creates a need that we are catering to. There's already a need in the market that we are catering to. That's why we made a business, So they find themselves lonely and nothing to do, and the business is struggling. They just, forget, why their whys, basically, 100%. Why they were first, why they opened their businesses and stuff. 100%. So I'm sure creating more distribution in your local communities and among your friends and families, and of course creating more content definitely helps increase your cash flow, your business overall, getting your word out there, getting your brand out there,
exactly.
with everything,
That's very important, just getting your name out there in the local community. But I am curious, I know you asked me this as well. Well, what are your goals for 2026?
So the 2026 is definitely going to be very challenging, especially the first 2 quarters of 2026. I see it's just sustaining what you have built in your business so far. I think we're gonna take a lot of critical thinking. We're gonna think a lot of our projects about again. We're gonna think about all of our projects again that we have started in the last 2 years, if we have to continue those or not. Because when times are getting tough, you need to make sure you're very heavy on your core. You're not open everywhere, So we need to make sure we stay very true to our core and very very much aligned with what our clients' needs are. So 2026 is all about reconsolidating our businesses, sticking to our core, and then if hopefully you survive the first 2 quarters, all the changes in the supply chain and stuff, and then just start working on whatever the projects you left behind, and you put it on pause. You can start again, I think, in the third quarter. So 2026 is going to be interesting. There's a lot of projects we are working on right now also that would help us get more solidified in our industry. Hopefully our customers will appreciate it, and eventually we'll get bigger and better at A1.
Hopefully. So 2020, how was that? Was it challenging for you? How was 2025 for you? Was it challenging for you?
2025 has definitely, whenever there's an election year, is very challenging. Every 4 years there's a market shift in our industry. Whenever there's, especially in the election years.
So wait, I think we're a bit low on time, but that's fine.
25 was the election year, and definitely we felt those and the issues that we faced. So 2025 was definitely challenging. It tested our core of the business. It tested our staff, our employees, our strategies. It tested our business, definitely, and thank God we've been able to grow and survive and thrive in this time also. So I'm very lucky to have a very good team, and definitely it was a great learning experience in 2025, definitely.
What are a few things that you would say that you took away from this year that you're bringing on to implement next year?
So the biggest learning I had in 2025 was that you have to keep moving forward. Doesn't matter whatever the market is saying, doesn't matter whatever the situation is, doesn't matter. If you need to get done on certain projects that are very crucial for your long-term goal, then you have to get on it and do it. Suppose making content, we've been delaying it for the last 3 years, and finally we jumped on the bandwagon and just started making content in 2025, and it has proven very successful for us. So same thing like that, we have a few other projects going on, and I think you have to keep in mind your long-term vision of the company and just keep working at it instead of get discouraged and lose your confidence because the market is getting slower. There's tariffs now, the supply chain is changing. All these things definitely bring you down, but you have to find the motivation to get back on your feet and just see the long-term vision of the company. And that.
What would you say to the people watching this? I know 2020, especially for the retail business and jewelry business, it's been difficult. What would you say to the people who are struggling this year and are trying to change their strategy?
I would say to the people that were struggling in 2020, I think they need to take a deep dive on how they're using their day-to-day in their stores, what they're doing, and get a third-person opinion. People that you admire, the owners. I'm sure in your friends group or your family group, you have some people that you admire, that have been very successful in business, call them for a day, ask them for your help, tell them just have a day and eat lunch at my store, and just stay with them for 3-4 hours and let them evaluate how you're doing your day to day. I think they will show you the mirror right away, what you're doing wrong. I think taking a third person opinion when you're discouraged and discomfort, and not making it the way you wanted it to, your company to be, taking a third person opinion just helps tremendously. Every now and then I tell my family also, I have very good friends. I tell them to stay with me for a day at my place, at my business, at my office. They just observe, and then we talk in the evening, and that just changes my whole perspective of what I was doing for the last 6 months. So it's just I'm sorry to it just changes your perspective, definitely.
The third person, because like sometimes what we're doing is not something that is we're like, oh, we're doing this perfect, like we're good.
Exactly.
But like a third person perspective is like, okay, no, like this is where you messed up.
Another reason of us doing this podcast was to take the cross industry opinion of, because we are a B2B company, and then the basics of dealing with a business to business is everything remains the same. You're just doing marketing, we're just selling jewelry to them. So taking your opinion, my goal was to learn from you also, and then show our viewers, of course, show our listeners, show our retailers how so many things are same in businesses basically. It's just the face of the business is different. Pretty much all the foundation is pretty much everything is the same, and you got so much to learn. Like I learned so much when I'm going to buy a car. I'm learning so much when I'm going to Walmart. I'm learning so much when I'm going to a grocery store, Target, whatever. Like buying a car is just such a surreal experience. Every dealership you go, they operate differently, and there's so much to learn from each, like how they are operating. So I'm just very observant in our day to day, and I think that works if you're very like in your present on a day to day basis. That just helps you overall. So thank you, Adeeb, for giving us your time. I'm sure a lot of our retailers have learned amazing feedback and amazing results. Definitely keep in tune for more podcasts like this, and in 2026. And thank you again for your time.
Of course.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right.